Welcome to Semester Review Part A of the Wheaton Knights 2023 IED course. This is going to be a voiced over review, so you don't have to review by yourself. What is a design process? A design process is a systematic problem-solving strategy with criteria and constraints used to develop many possible solutions to solve or satisfy human wants or needs and to narrow down the possible solutions to one final choice. There are 6 steps used in the design process. Step 1 is to define the problem. If the problem is valid and justifiable, then you'll move on to the next step, generating concepts. Once you generate the concepts, if the needed technology exists, you will develop a solution, and if your solution is valid, you will construct and then test your prototype. After that, if your prototype is valid, you will evaluate solution. And then after that, if your solution solves the problem, you will present your solution. Engineering. What is engineering? Engineering is the application of mathematics and scientific principles to better or improve life. Engineers. What is an engineer? An engineer is a person who is trained in and uses technological and scientific knowledge to solve practical problems. See engineers' greatest achievements at this link, and Engineering Girl at this link. What do engineers do? Engineers do 5 main things. They will research, develop, design, supervise, and manage. What is an engineer's notebook? An engineer's notebook is a book in which an engineer will formally document, in chronological order, all work that is associated with a specific design project. Each engineer has an engineer's notebook. Engineers record all related project work by hand. An engineer's notebook records written ideas, sketches, which are preferably annotated, work session summaries, research findings, and interview information, such as who was contacted, when were they contacted, and what was discussed and/or learned. What is research? Research is the systematic study of materials and sources in order to establish facts and reach new conclusions. According to the MLA Handbook for Writers of Research Papers, 5th edition by Joseph Gibaldi, we undertake research when we wish to explore an idea, probe an issue, solve a problem, or make an argument that compels us to turn to outside help. There are 2 types of research. There is primary research, where you are generating original information, and secondary research, gathering information that has already been gathered. Primary research is original research. It generates up-to-date information and includes methods such as observation, experiments, surveys, and interviews. It also analyzes, synthesizes, and evaluates all information and data. Secondary research, on the other hand, requires searching information that other researchers have already collected, analyzed, and reported. It includes published works such as books, journals, magazines, and newspapers, and it includes unpublished works, business reports, operating manuals, master's theses, doctoral dissertations, and web pages. It is the most commonly conducted type of research. Brainstorming. It is the process used to find a solution to a problem by collecting ideas without regard for feasibility, which occur from a group of people brought together for that specific purpose. There are 4 main rules for brainstorming. There is no criticism allowed. You must work for quality, welcome piling on, and allow free-for-all. There are line conventions in technical drawings. There are object lines, construction lines, center lines, extension lines, and cutting plane lines. Extension lines show where a dimension starts and stops. That is an extension line. That is also an extension line. Dimension lines are lines that are used to show distance. That is a dimension line. Arrows are drawn on the ends to show where the dimension line starts and ends. The The actual distance is usually located in the middle of this line to let you know the distance being communicated. That is also a dimension line. A short break line shows where the part is broken to reveal detail behind the part. That is a short break line. There are also section lines and hidden lines shown in this drawing. A long break line is used to shorten very long objects that do not change in detail. As you can see, there are two jagged lines, which are shown on the screen now. This line is usually represented as a jagged cut or break. Leader lines are used to show dimensions of arcs, circles, and they help show detail. They are found in this drawing here, and I guess not there. Multiview drawings are shown on the screen above. Width, depth, and height. All three-dimensional objects have width, depth, and height. Width is associated with an object's side-to-side dimension. Height is the measure of an object from top to bottom. Depth is associated with front-to-back distance. This is a showing of a top, front, and right view of an object. Top, front, and right views. Isometric pictorials. Isometric means equal measure. Three adjacent faces on a single cube will share a single point. The edges that converge at this point will appear as 120-degree angles, or it will be 30 degrees from the horizon line. These three edges represent height, width, and depth. They are shown on the screen. They represent the 10, 2, and 6 hands on a clock. Step 4. Tonal shading. Decide where the light source is coming from, and add tonal shading to two of the three views with parallel lines drawn together closely. Increase the contrast by cross-hatching the lines on the darkest face. So in this object shown, you would cross-hatch everything but the top view, and then cross-hatch more the front view. Even more. Oblique pictorials. An oblique pictorial starts with a straight-on view of one of the object's faces, which is often the front face. It is shown here. Angled parallel lines are drawn to one side to represent the object's depth. Common oblique angles include 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees. Here is a 45-degree drawing. There are two types of oblique pictorials. There's the cavalier and cabinet. The difference between the two is based on how the depth of the object is represented. Here it is shown. On the left is an oblique cavalier. On the right is an oblique cabinet. The oblique cavalier has full depth, while the oblique cabinet has only half depth. Perspective drawings. A perspective drawing offers the most realistic three-dimensional view of all the pictorial methods because it portrays the object in a manner that is most similar to how the human eye perceives the visual world. There are three types of perspective drawings. There's the 1-point, the 2-point, and the 3-point perspective drawings. 1-point perspective. The 1-point perspective is relatively simple to make, but is somewhat awkward in appearance when compared to other types of pictorials. A horizontal line representing the horizon is drawn across the upper portion of the paper. One vanishing point is identified somewhere on the horizon line, such as right there. Shown is the horizon line. So here's how you would draw the drawing. The inch. Half of an eighth is a 16th of an inch. A ruler is shown above, showing half inches, quarter inches, eighth inches, and 16th of an inch. The millimeter. The largest markings on the metric scale represent centimeters. These are the only marks that are actually numbered. 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters, and shown is a ruler depicting that. This has been the end of Semester A review. Please let me know what you would like to review next. Like and subscribe. Thank you.